to aim 2030, I want Yen to become a leader in working with young people.
Children and young people to say a few words. Jim.
Thank you so much, Henrietta. And I just want to say that your leadership on world's youth issues has been a tremendous personal and professional inspiration to me. And it's also a great honor to be here with the chair of this whole group. You know, what it says is Envoy on Youth, but you're the boss on this one. And also my great friend, President Kagame. I've seen what he's been doing in Rwanda for many years now. Now, let me just get some of the critical numbers out of the way, and then I want to send a very personal message. You know, we have been focused a lot on youth. We've spent $15 billion in 770 projects over the last 10 years. And we're working ever more closely. The relationship with UNICEF has never been better. And we're working with UNICEF to deliver on critically important issues. In Lebanon, for example, we're working to ensure that Syrian refugees enroll in school and ensure that they have skills training so that they'll be able to find a job. In Yemen, a terribly difficult situation, we're partnering to provide emergency cash transfers that are helping 1.4 million poor families provide basic needs for their children and young people. But let me tell you what I'm extremely worried about. And I'm extremely worried about the world that my two sons are going to inherit. First, because of the rapid rise of broadband, and everyone in the world, all 8 billion people will have access to broadband by 2025, aspirations all over the world are going up. When I was born in 1959 in Korea, and we have wonderful representatives here, the First Lady of Korea, the World Bank would not give Korea a loan because they thought it was hopeless. And then when Korea took its second loan for education, they were ridiculed because the World Bank couldn't believe they would waste money on investing in education when they should have spent it on other things. When aspirations going up, when those aspirations are met with opportunity, you get dynamic economic growth. And in Korea, there were people like me who had the opportunity to become president of the World Bank. And then you have one of the best groups, the boy band BTS right here, who chose to be artists and were able to do so because Korea invested in health, education, and all the things that are needed. Second thing I want to say is the nature of work is changing. The nature of work is changing very quickly, and many, many countries are not prepared for the future of work. Everything tells us that every single job will be more digitally demanding, and every single job will require skills like perseverance, determination, things that are not taught well enough in the schools today. And finally, we're in the middle of a demographic change of just extraordinary proportion. 1.8 billion people are between the ages of 15 and 30. 500 million people are in developing countries, are underemployed or hold insecure jobs. 300 million don't have employment or education at all. So my reflection is that in the 1960s and 70s, young people in the United States used to say, don't trust anyone over 30. What I would say to you today, young people, don't trust anyone under 30 to make the most important decisions that are going to affect your future. Don't let us decide how much we spend on health and education. Insist that we spend on health and education in a way so that everyone has the opportunity to become whatever they want. Don't trust us on decisions around climate change. We're entering a critical 2-year period, and if we don't make the right decisions, the world that you will inherit will be unlike anything you can imagine. So please take this, this movement that was just brilliantly started by UNICEF and Henrietta for Generation U or Gen U, and force us to make the right decision so that you can live in the world that you want. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Henrietta and President Jim Kim for your commitment. I'm really excited for Generation Unlimited and also for the World Bank's renewed. Thank you very much, Prime Minister and Natasha, for your journey of followers around the world. And my younger sister tried to stop me from coming today because she wanted to come here instead of me to see BTS speak. I'm grateful to the UNICEF Executive Director, Ms. Fo, for making it possible for BTS, who are recognized as UNICEF's Goodwill Ambassadors, for the Generation Unlimited partnership to be with us here today. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, UNICEF Executive Director, and all the excellencies and distinguished guests from across the world. My name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the leader of the group BTS. It is an incredible honor to be invited to an occasion with such significance for today's young generation. Last November, BTS launched the Love Myself campaign with UNICEF, building on our belief that true love first begins with loving myself. We've been partnering with UNICEF's End Violence program to protect children and young people all over the world from violence. And our fans have become a major part of this campaign with their action and with their enthusiasm. We truly have the best fans in the world. And I'd like to begin by talking about myself. I was born in Ilsan, a city near Seoul, South Korea. It is a really beautiful place with a lake, hills, and even an annual flower festival. I spent a very happy childhood there, and I was just an ordinary boy. I used to look up at the night sky and wonder, and I used to dream the dreams of a boy. I used to imagine that I was a superhero who could save the world. And in an intro to one of our early albums, there's a line that says, "My heart stopped when I was maybe 9 or 10. Looking back, I think that's when I began to worry about what other people thought of me and starting seeing myself through their eyes. I stopped looking up at the night skies, the stars. I stopped daydreaming. Instead, I just tried to jam myself into the malls that other people made. Soon, I began to shut out my own voice and started to listen to the voices of others. No one called out my name, and neither did I. My heart stopped and my eyes closed shut. So, like this, we all lost our names. We became like ghosts. But I had one sanctuary, and that was music. There was a small voice inside of me that said, "Wake up, man, and listen to yourself." But it took me quite a long time to hear music calling my real name. Even after making the decision to join BTS, there were a lot of hurdles. Some people might not believe, but most people thought we were hopeless. And sometimes I just wanted to quit. But I think I was very lucky that I didn't give it all up. And I'm sure that I and we will keep stumbling and falling like this. BTS has become artists performing in those huge stadiums and selling millions of albums right now, but I am still an ordinary 24-year-old guy. If there's anything that I've achieved, it was only possible that I have my other BTS members right by my side, and because of the love and the support that our ARMY fans all over the world made for us. And maybe I made a mistake yesterday, but yesterday's me is still me. Today, I am who I am with all of my faults and my mistakes. Tomorrow, I might be a tiny bit wiser, and that would be me too. These faults and mistakes are what I am, making up the brightest stars in the constellation of my life. I have come to love myself for who I am, for who I was, and for who I hope to become. I'd like to say the one last thing. After releasing our Love Yourself albums and launching the Love Myself campaign we started to hear remarkable stories from our fans all over the world, how our message helped them overcome their hardships in life and start loving themselves. Those stories constantly remind us of our responsibility. So, let's take all one more step. We have learned to love ourselves. So now I urge you to speak yourself. I'd like to ask all of you, what is your name? What excites you and makes your heart beat? Tell me your story. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself. Find your name and find your voice by speaking yourself. I'm Kim Namjoon and also RM of BTS. I'm an idol and I'm an artist from a small town in Korea. Like most people, I've made many and plenty mistakes in my life. I have many faults and I have many more fears, but I'm gonna embrace myself as hard as I can. And I'm starting to love myself gradually, just little by little. What is your name? Speak yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With so many young fans around the world, it was a pleasure having BTS with us, and I'm thankful that you use your platform and creativity to reach young audiences with positive messages about what it means to be a young person in the world today. So we have heard from the Secretary General and our speakers about the Generation Unlimited partnership. We have heard the Secretary General speak about the fact that the entire UN system owns, drives, and stands behind the UN's youth strategy. I think we can all agree that the UN has come a long way, and the ambition championed in the youth strategy is built on the hard work, lessons learned, failures, and successes of stories of many of us in here, in the room, and those that came before us. In this regard, I wish to take this opportunity to misbehave and to particularly recognize the presence of my predecessor, Ahmed Al-Hindawi, the very first UN envoy on youth. Ahmed, as the envoy on youth during his term, has done an incredible job to open the doors for more youth engagement and to get youth issues higher in the global agenda. Thank you so much for joining us here today.